Good day, Internet.
Good day, Internet.
Going on, Internet? Hey,
Hello.
Internet.
Ooh, I just got a very deceptive text message from the state of California Franchise Tax Board saying my refund claim has been processed, and they will deposit the money in my bank account, but they need my bank account information.
Of course.
So
they
if
do.
I-
Give it to them.
Yeah.
Come on.
If I just
You
go
want that
to
money?
FTB Franchise Tax Board .ca.gov dash three other letters that aren't actually part, and then not a .com or a .gov domain name.
Now, let
Hold
me ask you
on.
this. Let me ask you this, because this has happened to me in years past, and I was not duped, but I was confused for a little bit.
Yeah.
Have you been doing tax stuff, mid-year anyway? Okay.
No.
So you were like,
this
no,
is
this is just
immediately
totally not me.
like, that's odd. Like, I don't have a refund coming, but you know
Right.
what? Somebody does. And they sent this out to millions of people in the state of California.
Yep. You get somebody on the wrong day and they're like, I was late with my taxes, or,
Or I've been waiting for that refund. Oh my gosh. Wait, I'm not
Something.
going to get it if I don't give you my bank account info? Here.
Which is weird because I never put my phone number anywhere on my tax return.
Don't think about that.
well, and they always say to you, like, ad nauseum, like, we're not going to call you. You're going to get something in the mail.
Yeah. We're going to text you
or
with a
you can
sus
log
link.
into your account and do something on your own if you want to. Then we'll talk to you. But we're not
Yeah.
going to call you.
But don't click that link.
You know, it's a recent one I found, which was, I don't know if it's disturbing, but they send you a DocuSign link.
Oh, yeah. I've gotten those.
And it's like, initially I looked at it and I was like, I was going through my dad's old email, filtering out stuff. And I was like, looks kind of suspect. And then I searched on the guy who supposedly sent it. And he's just like up for all sorts of like complaints and possible legal action because they're just very, very
Well, here's the
shady.
thing. When I get those, I immediately go like, that's fraud. But you are in a situation where you are getting legitimate DocuSigns. So you have to look at it and make sure, like,
And
is
make
this
sure
real or is
everyone,
this? Yeah.
I've got.
I mean,
I've had to
even
do
the
5
point
so far.
of, when people say like, oh, if it's a unknown number, I just don't answer. But every so often, depending on the situation you're in life, you're going to get an important call from that unknown number. And so I don't want to ignore it. I want to decide if I ignored it or not.
I was going to say 95.7% of the time, I just been like, if it's important enough, they'll leave a message and I'll get back to them. But there are those times when you're like, I am waiting on a call from a plumber or
knows?
realist, some unknown place that's approving a loan for my house or whatever,
Yep.
right?
Just this morning, I was supposed to have a call at 10 a.m. Pacific with somebody that I don't know very well, but was interested in doing some work with me. Great.
Yeah.
But I don't know him. We had
Right.
gone back and forth on email, and I was like, here's my phone number. Didn't know his. So when I got the phone call, I was like, I'm answering this. It's him. It wasn't him. It was just some dummy.
It was just random.
trying to.
Are you taking offers at your home at 437 Devil May Care Lane?
I like the ones that tell me they want to put solar on my roof at 11870 Santa Monica Boulevard, which is the name of the UPS store we use for the mailing address.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm sure the UPS store would be interested. Maybe I'll ask Aura.
I get stuff to my mail drop. Probably every time I go check my mail drop, like every couple weeks, I always have 2 or 3 things. So I don't know if they all came at the same time, if they, if it's spread out evenly, but I always have probably, I'd say 4 to 6 pieces of very, very suspect mail in my mail drop every week.
It just takes one, right? If you send out 1,000, you get one person. It's a success.
Yep, you make your money.
You make your money.
I've just learned, if you call me, I don't give you any information if you call me, and I tell people this: you called me, you know my information. I don't need to verify anything. If you
I
think
know
you're talking to me, talk
I've
to
done
me.
one-on-ones with Rob, and he won't tell me anything.
You got my information.
So, well, you
I'm like,
can
is
call
this
me-
Rob?
like,
He's
you
like,
don't
I don't
know
know.
me.
You called me.
You cannot give me a number to call back at. That is also a scam. So no, I'll call the number that I know for the bank.
Yeah, if you ask them to give you a number when you're on the phone with them, you're like, they're just going to give you the number they're on. Like the call screening stuff is really good on the iPhone beta and the Pixel at helping. Like I had a Delta called me. And it didn't end up being important. They were like, it's overbooked and we'll let you, if you stay an extra day. I'm like, I can't stay an extra day. But I saw that it was Delta. I was like, oh, it's my flight. I will pick that up because they told the little bot who it was. So that does help quite a bit.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, if you weren't on, traveling or on vacation, just like some random other month, you might be like, Delta, I don't think so.
I got
it's all relative.
Yeah, I suppose so. But again, I might go like, "Oh, Delta's calling. Maybe I'll answer," versus just random number. So in the situation with your person calling you, Sarah, you would see, "Oh, it's that person by that name. I know that name. I can pick up even though I don't recognize the number." So it's kind of helpful for that.
It is. Yeah, and I don't know. It was weird timing. Because I was like, oh, I'm expecting a call. It's got to be him, right?
Right.
And then it was just some Yahoo who wanted, I don't even remember what she was talking about, but I was like, wrong person, bye.
She wanted to refinance the mortgage on your solar panels on
Something
the house
like
you
that.
don't have.
No, it was something about,
I'd like to talk to you about equine insurance policies.
Right. I was like, for all the horses I have. Yeah, let's do that.
You're somebody too, Sarah, who has actually like engaged those people to waste their time in the past. I know. I
do this. I don't do it every time. I never do it on the phone. On the phone is like, who? That's not fun. But over text, sometimes I'm just like, yes, in fact, I do own
I do need
40
horses.
and
Tell
I
me
need to
more.
move them all to Mars in the next 48 hours. How can you help me? And
Can
then
you
the
ensure
next that person, it always is like, ... what's your name?
30 seconds.
Mildred horse owner.
And they eventually get really mad at you. They
20
get mad at you. Like
Yeah.
That's okay.
either the trail goes cold or someone actually says something really terrible to me, and I'm like, you started it.
Because they're going to get in trouble if they don't, if they don't get someone,
make
if
a
they
sale.
waste time. Yeah, if they waste time. So.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm part of the problem, but you know what?
No, you're part of the
Show,
solution.
Sometimes you do it. Good day, Internet. This is DTNS Live for Friday, August 29th, 2025. From Studio Animal House, I'm Sarah Lane.
From Studio 7 in Los Angeles, I'm Tom Merritt.
From Columbus, Ohio, I'm Robb Dunewood.
Out at the edge of St. Louis, I'm Patrick Norton.
Drawing to top tech stories from Cleveland, I'm Len Peralta.
And it's me, the show's producer, Roger.
DTNS Live is made possible by I didn't know if you were going to say your last name, so I jumped in.
Maybe he's just going by Roger now.
I thought maybe he's like Pele.
Maybe I should go like R.
Yeah.
RC. Like the cola.
DTNS Live is made possible by you, whether you have 1, 2, or more names. Chris Beneteau, Jeffrey Zilks, Alo, a.k.a. Adam L., and Bill K. Thank you, everybody.
Nice
Thanks
job.
to one and all who supports us week after week. Welcome to DTNS Live All. We got a full panel today. This is the show where we discuss the tech news to help us all understand it a little bit better. Patrick Norton, how the heck are you doing?
I got to walk the dog in a sweatshirt a few days ago, and it may have been the high point of my summer.
Did you get a
totally
pumpkin
get that feeling.
spice latte in celebration?
I do not
Just like,
observe.
I'm not
the
hot.
practice of pumpkin
I'm
spice.
not hot. Yeah.
No, we were living under. At one point, I got up. Our dog's a husky, like half shepherd, half husky, a lot of fur. And I went to walk the dog, and it was 90 degrees at 6:30 in the morning, with
That's hot.
fairly high humidity. And the dog and I were just like, no. And Clinton, the dog, was not wearing the sweatshirt. I was wearing the sweatshirt. It was great.
I know that feeling.
Now Clinton's worried the dog was cold if the dog wasn't wearing the sweatshirt.
The dog is wearing a fur coat.
A husky fur coat.
I gotta say, and I know everybody's different, but and it's a little early in the year for, depending on where you live, for sweater weather. But I know what you're talking about, Pat. That feeling where you're like, you know what? I can wear a sweatshirt right now because I feel like it.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna die out there. It's a good feeling.
I will say by the end
Uncommon
of
for the Midwest this time of year, though. It's still usually in the the low to mid 80s regularly, if not even hotter than that. It's been pretty chilly here lately.
Has it, Len? What about you? Have you embraced sweater weather yet?
Oh, I stopped wearing shorts this week because it was like too cold to be wearing that. So yeah, and I'm wearing a kind of a light sweatshirt today. And the other thing too, Labor Day weekend, we got the air shows happening here. So all these.
Oh yeah, that's going this weekend.
Yeah, so I'm hearing all these jet fighters coming by the house. So it's
Yeah.
It's a
Are
good
you
reminder.
sure Cleveland isn't being invaded
I hope not, because it always happens around this time.
by Michigan?
Yes.
so many bad jokes I could make knowing.
Oh,
There was once a war between Ohio and Michigan, like in the 1800s.
There's a war every year, usually on
Well, there's also that. You're right.
Michigan and Ohio. Yeah.
well, we are actually going to talk about tech news, believe it or not. If you are watching or listening live, you can name this episode as we go through stories on the show. Head on over to dtns.showbot.tv to submit titles and vote on others. We'll check back in on the votes at the end of the show and crown a winner. Now, let's kick it off with a few stories that caught our eye today.
When you buy your next video game, be sure to look for the union label. 450 workers in Blizzard's Diablo team have now formed a union represented by the Communication Workers of America that includes developers, artists, designers, engineers, and support staff. The Diablo team wants to bargain for the things you would expect: improved compensation, job security, and workplace conditions. Now a total of 3,500 people at Microsoft, mostly in video game studios, are unionized.
It kind of makes sense. I mean, these are 450 people is a medium-sized company, and that's just a division within Blizzard.
Right.
So yeah, it doesn't shock me. Workers want to be treated fairly, and and have benefits and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes you have to unionize to get that stuff.
Yeah. And I was talking to Wen Dao because she is a developer about this earlier on DTNS briefing. And she was saying like she does not want to be a video game developer because it sounds much harder. They work really long hours, really like, put through the ringer. So it's not surprising that that's the area that's unionizing too.
The Financial Times sources say that Apple is contesting that secret UK order, which demanded that global backdoor access to iCloud, covering things like backups, messages, and passwords. The filing shows the request extended beyond the UK, potentially affecting every iCloud user worldwide. That is not for certain, but that is definitely a potential. This is Apple's biggest encryption battle since way back in 2016. Remember when it was fighting with the FBI over unlocking the San Bernardino shooter's iPhone? Apple maintains that backdoors compromise security for all users and will be exploited by malicious actors if they were to open it up.
Yeah, so what they've done in the UK is they just took the advanced protection away from iCloud. Doesn't mean they took away end-to-end encryption. It just means Apple manages the keys for every iCloud user in the UK now, so that if they came and were compelled by a court order, they could say, here's the key, right? That's different than building a whole back door, which could be exploited. It just means you have to trust Apple to manage your key, which most people do. Most people don't have the advanced data protection thing anyway. You have to opt into it.
Threads is trying out a new text attachment feature that lets you add longer blocks of text to your post. This will allow you to share deeper content without having to create multiple post threads. The idea is to give creators and writers articles more exposure and to get rid of those annoying text screenshots. And this feature is similar to X's articles, but is actually available to everyone, not just subscribers, at least for right now. The feature currently is just text, though they might add multimedia support later as it is still being tested out. So I'm a fan of this.
Yeah.
Because I literally have created a script, a prompt that'll take my email newsletter stuff and break it up into into smaller chunks of text to put it on threads. But the problem is that now I've got to go through and I've already edited and copy edited that stuff. Now I've got to go edit it again, and sometimes it's just easier to just not do it. So the fact that I can now just copy and paste stuff in there, I definitely will use this.
So so if I'm understanding this correctly, the way that you use threads, Rob, and I know that you're pretty prolific on threads, you will still have that kind of like 1 to 2 sentence thing, but then you can post the original article that you already wrote somewhere else.
Right. You can literally copy and paste it in. And if you wanted to do one of those long threads, you would just have to write post after post after post.
Right.
Which is, if you're writing in threads, that's not a huge issue. But if you actually already have something written, you've then got to do the character breaks for it. And sometimes you'll be like in the middle of a paragraph, and it's just hard to do. So the fact that they're doing this, I'm a fan.
Does this seem like an acknowledgement that nobody clicks through anything on any social media platform anymore? Or maybe they're tired of punishing
it's funny
people
that you say that, Patrick,
for putting links?
because at this point, you know how I guess I'm talking about X, but you see this all over the place. It's like, I've got thoughts, and then it's like the spool emoji indicating like there's a thread coming. And it's like, okay, if I want to read more about it, then it's like, let's see what the next comment is, because it's from you, and then you, and then you, and then you, and then other people start to chime in, and then it gets chaotic. It doesn't work.
I'm familiar.
It does not work.
Yeah.
I mean, it can work, but it's a very clunky way to do this.
I think also that Meta is thinking about how can we keep people on platform more, because people like me that do want to send you to that longer piece of content, I'll just drop a link. I know I'm going to get less reach on the post that has the link in it.
You can hear the distribution
like
of your
breaking up
post
a longer post into 10 different individual little threads pieces. So this is I won't call it a godsend, but it is definitely something that I was
an improvement.
Saying, please add this, because it's crazy.
Well, these are 3 top stories that caught our eye today. Discussions next. Tesla is appealing a $243 million verdict that held it partly liable for a 2019 fatal crash involving its Enhanced Autopilot system. The company argues the damages should be sharply reduced or even overturned, claiming that the driver, not the vehicle, was responsible in this case. Plaintiffs say Tesla misinterpreted Autopilot's capabilities, leading to unsafe reliance.
Yeah, and the situation here is important, I think, because the driver dropped their mobile phone, reached down to pick it up, thinking, oh, well, if the autopilot will avoid anything, and then sadly it did not, and someone died as a result. And then so the court case is all about, is that Tesla's fault for leading him to believe it would avoid obstacles, or is it his fault for saying I'm abandoning my responsibility to drive the car right now?
Well, and there are also those, thankfully, I haven't been in a situation like this recently, but there are those situations where you're like, oh my gosh, my phone, and you go do something, and that is not what you're supposed to be doing normally as a driver. Things happen. Things happen all the time. Now, I think, some of us, myself included, just because I have so many Waymos outside my house right now that they basically have taken over the neighborhood, where I'm like, maybe it's just better. No safety human drivers. They're the ones who are doing the things wrong. But there are always those that, there's that little blip where something weird happens, and the system, whether it be a human brain or, the brain of a platform like this, doesn't understand what's going on. And you're going to get situations like this.
If I remember correctly, in the ruling here was that both Tesla and the driver were found liable. It's just that Tesla has the deep pockets, and that's where the almost $250 million, ruling against them is coming from.
Well, so according to Reuters, jurors found the driver liable for 67% of the compensatory damages, but he was not a defendant. and it was like 130 million in compensatory damages and 200 million in punitive damages.
Yeah, so Tesla at this point is just like, it was the driver, he had a bad day, dropped his phone, whatever. But that's not good enough, right? As many of these companies are really putting a lot of money and effort into expanding autonomous driving. One or two stories like this is enough for people to be like, nope, too scary, don't want that. Even though the details of this are actually more of like, this was a very unfortunate situation with a person and an autonomous vehicle working in tandem.
But it's not an autonomous vehicle. I think that's important to note. Like, Tesla's self-drive reminds you, like, you are in charge. You have to keep your hands on the wheel. This is a safety feature to help you. It's not meant to drive the car. The ruling against Tesla is premised on the fact, like, yeah, but you called it autopilot. Yes, you had all those disclaimers, but it's easy for people to forget those disclaimers. But nobody was saying it's actually an autonomous car.
Right.
And I only make that point to say, like, we're getting this much controversy over something that wasn't even fully autonomous.
Yeah, well, I fully expect not just Tesla, any company is, if you've got almost $250 million, settled that has been levied on you, you're going to fight this to the highest court that you can. I fully expect that. Tesla's hoping that, okay, go all the way to the Supreme Court. Maybe we win there, or they will settle and we will pay something significantly less than this $243 million.
I think they're definitely going to, I think at this point, they've settled a bunch of cases. They refused a $60 million settlement before this case concluded. I think their current financial complications and their reduced sales prices are putting them in a position where they actually really want to figure out if they can shut all this down. Because, as it's been going, if there's an accident with autopilot on, it gets settled, which usually means somebody's paying somebody a lot of money, or, the case is so bad they agree to throw it out before something goes horribly wrong. But I feel like Tesla's finally at a point where they're not printing money anymore, and they're actually like, okay, it's time to dig in and fight this to whatever level they can fight it to.
Yeah.
And I will say, Sarah, remember, it was just like, 2023, Robotaxi, ran over a pedestrian in San Francisco. There's been enough incidences to make it challenging, but I always feel like they're much more scary for the people outside the autonomous vehicle than they are for the people inside the autonomous vehicle.
Well, yeah, I would agree with that. I also know a fair amount of Tesla owners who are like, autopilot's the best. But you really do, not everybody is doing this, but you can just peace out pretty much and not be, the defensive driver that you're supposed to be when it's working correctly. And I think that it gives you a false sense of protection, and that's where you find incidents like this.
Yeah, but other autonomous systems are sometimes better than this. Mercedes has one that's practically level 4, where you don't even have to keep your eyes on the road only in some sections of Germany, but you don't see the same kind of conversations around those. You don't see people saying like, yeah, I could peace out with my Lexus system, but and maybe Lexus should be liable if something goes wrong, right? It seems to always be Tesla that is the focus of this.
It's because Tesla is the highest profile, and so that's just going to be a natural magnet for people, right? Not to say that people are looking for a payday or anything, but you go where the money is, and if you
that's looking for a payday.
Yeah, I don't want to make it too crass. Someone did pass away, but you know what I mean? Like they seem like they can weather the financial repercussions of it.
Yeah, there's that, and there's also a lot of people have a lot of angst with Tesla right now. So just anything negative coming from Tesla is going to be bigger news than other car companies. Not that this wouldn't be a big deal from another car company, but it's like Tesla's kind of got the target right now, and that is probably part of this. And the other thing too is that Tesla's got competition. So if it stays on the record that, hey, you are responsible for this with your autopilot, that makes people who are thinking about buying a car say, well, wait, Tesla, they've actually were partly responsible for somebody dying from this. Maybe I don't look at them and I go look at the car manufacturer that's making cars just as nice as Tesla's that don't have any deaths on their record.
Well, it's also, I mean, and to add to your point, right? Tesla's got 43% of the electric vehicles in the United States, and the next largest percentage is Ford, and they're not even at 8%.
Right.
So, Tesla certainly has the highest profile. And I will say I still run into people who own Teslas who are like, oh yeah, basically I don't touch the steering wheel, and
Right.
to their
Yeah.
credit, they're not sleeping. They're not playing video games. They're not shooting naughty videos that are going up on that site. But they are like, I've had friends who are like, I really to the point where I feel like I can just read a book. And, Tesla's been saying since 2013 they were going to have fully autonomous level 5 driving in like 1 to 3 years. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like they've dialed back some of their promises and claims for autopilot, but they spent a lot of time telling everybody that we were all going to be asleep in the back seat of our Teslas.
I mean, they called it autopilot, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's where this gets tricky is people in other driver assist systems are not being marketed to in the same way as Tesla drivers are.
And Super Drive on my car is like,
granted, not everybody who drives a Tesla, to Patrick's point, is irresponsible with it, but there are some who are, like this person. Who made a bad decision and was like, I think I can pick up my phone without looking and autopilot will take over. Is it Tesla's fault for doing that kind of cloud of like, yes, we technically told you don't do that when you set this up, so we dotted our I's and crossed our T's, but everywhere else we sort of imply you can. Like, so is that enough legally to make them culpable?
Yeah, I saw on one of the sites talking about this in the comments where somebody said that Tesla will probably build a robot arm that can pick your phone up for you and hand it to you before they'll actually have FFD fully working at level 5.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that arm because I have dropped things, under my own legs where I'm like, oh God, I have to pull over. This is going to be so hard. But yes, so if anybody has not only a Tesla or, any car that kind of falls into this category and you have thoughts on this, please do email us feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com. All right, Rob, we talked about YouTube and Fox getting a temporary deal yesterday, but it looks like they have a longer-term agreement in place today.
Yeah, so YouTube TV and Fox Corp have reached an agreement to keep Fox channels, including Fox News, local Fox stations, and Fox Sports available on the platform. This ensures that subscribers will continue to have access to Fox content, including football games, alongside over 100 other channels. So as you said, Sarah, we did talk about this yesterday. This is the permanent deal, or at least it's going to go more than a week or two. It's the deal that will probably go for at least a year or longer. But my question for you guys is, now they've got this settled, are the streaming services like YouTube, TV, Hulu plus Live Sports, DirecTV, and all the others, are they losing leverage at this point? Because it seems like all of the content providers are providing their own content. They are in direct competition with these platforms, and it doesn't seem like they're going to be getting the best deal any longer.
I mean, I definitely thought about this when we talked about the, YouTube possibly losing Fox channels, because YouTube TV is the reason that I pay for it is to watch sports. Now, I'm not watching sports every single day. Definitely depends on the time of year, but it's a cable alternative. And Fox going away is like, well, I mean, that's pretty annoying. It's not the end of the world, but it's pretty annoying depending on the day. And so I think that, a company like Fox knows this and is like, all right, YouTube TV, let's come back to the table. We decided to be part of this, cord cutting experiment some time ago. You keep raising your rates and we'd like our rates raised as well.
I was going to say it's crazy looking at the Nielsen ratings, right? Because broadcast is, I think, under 20% of total U.S. TV usage. Broadcast and cable has dropped below 50%, and the rest of it is YouTube and of course all the streaming services that are out there. But yeah, I think you're right, Rob. I think they got to get one last fat paycheck.
Mm-hmm. And I do think that, I don't want to say through perpetuity, but for a long time, that you'll get the Fox Corp will take some money from this, but it's like we're not going to take money to the extent that it's going to affect us making it with our own thing. And that just doesn't bode well, in my opinion, for these streaming services. It doesn't seem like they are going to be around for a significantly extended period of time. Because I'm just thinking about me personally. I've got a really nice, HD TV antenna that actually sits in a window, and then I'm running coax from it up through the plenum in my basement over to, a box, and I can actually watch TV on multiple TVs in my house. And I think I probably get, here in Columbus, I'll probably get somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 channels just over the air in HD. And it's the news and the sports is really the only thing that I'm watching live on television. So it's like, if I don't have to pay for, I don't have YouTube TV, I have Hulu. But if I don't have to pay for Hulu and just get my stuff over the air and then buy a sports package and I save a few dollars doing that, then, like I said, I don't know that this bodes very well for the, for the streaming services.
I think what's going on here is YouTube, you have to remember, is not just YouTube TV, it's YouTube. YouTube TV might even just be a patch. It's a temporary thing, because if you look at all the things you can add to YouTube TV, you can add almost all of them to YouTube as well. If you have YouTube Premium, you can add the NBA channel. You can add Stars. You can add NFL Sunday Ticket. You don't have to get YouTube TV to do them. And I imagine that Fox, who just launched their own streaming service called Fox One that has all the FS1, FS2, Fox Sports you could want on it, wanted YouTube to reach a deal to add that as an add-on you could put on YouTube TV and YouTube. And YouTube was like, great, we get to keep this much of every sale we make. And Fox said, that's too much. And YouTube said, well, great, then you don't get anything and we won't carry your channels on YouTube TV anymore. YouTube TV is the smallest part of this. Those streaming services are going away. They are being replaced by the individual streaming services like Peacock and Paramount Plus and Apple TV Plus and Amazon Prime Video. And what everybody's fighting over is who's going to be the platform where you can sell your service. Apple wants to be that. YouTube wants to be that. Amazon wants to be that. The cable companies are becoming that. If you're still a cable subscriber, you get Netflix with your cable subscription. You get Hulu. You sometimes get Peacock with your cable subscription. They are slowly changing from being the place with the channels to the place with the services, and it's all in one bill. And I don't think you're going to see Sling TV become that. You may or may not see DirecTV become that. They're doing a good job of trying to become that, and they're bundling in a lot of those services, but you definitely can see YouTube become that.
So maybe I'm just on the wrong platform, but now I have no clue as to what this is going to be called, because I am on the Hulu one, so I know that's going to be Disney in a bit
That's
of time.
Disney, right? And what Hulu plus Live TV is going to become is Fubo. They are launching a joint venture with Fubo where Hulu plus Live TV becomes Fubo. Fubo just released a skinny bundle for sports that you could pick and be like, oh, that'll get me all the sports that I don't get on my over-the-air antenna. And it's going to be the Disney platform bundle that you can add on to Disney Plus, ESPN, and the Hulu content.
Do you know what I could really use, Tom? Just give me, I don't care what you call the service, just give me a wired little brown box with a slider that goes from 0 to 56, and I can just slide it back and forth, and whatever's on is just on. It just make my life.
It just makes you. It makes
Channel
you
3.
long
That's what we're
for
doing.
those days.
Services.
I think there's a script that'll randomly
The 17 dip switch.
Watch.
That's Cinemax.
Because it's crazy. It's like I am a cord cutter. I cut the cord because it was like I'm just not using cable in the same way. But I think the problem is that when I just had regular cable, I was paying, I don't know, $120 a month for it. Now I think I'm paying $146,712 a month because I literally have all the services and all the add-ons. So I'm clearly not saving myself any money.
You don't have to have them all, but you kind of feel like you have to have them all, right? And I think
Well, that's the competition thing, is that, cable was always oh, you watch 5 to 10 channels of the 100 that you're offered. Nobody's watching all that stuff. It's a waste of money. It's too expensive. So the cord cutting thing was like, all right, well, what do you want to watch? You want to watch, Fox News. You want to watch, NBC. You want to watch just a few things. Great. Now you have more options. Awesome. For all the cable alternatives, that was also, a great thing. But everybody's in competition with each other. You have all these companies being like, well, no, you should pay for Fubo, not, this other thing. And so it's like, of course, if you want everything, you're going to overpay for everything, unless you truly, truly do want all the things.
And if you get everything, you have way more than cable ever gave you, with the libraries and the original content and everything. But you may not want all that. Same way you didn't need all 140 channels, right? You only watched 5 to 10 of them.
But it's funny watching these as more and more studios or channels start more and more streaming services. It's really funny to look. Like my son was hysterical because he was like, okay, there are 6 movies worth watching on Paramount, and then here's Ice Station Zebra Bikini Edition, and like I'm exaggerating, but like literally it's like stuff that like you look at it, it's like was this direct to VHS?
No, they skipped VHS.
Yeah, like,
It was just direct to your streaming service.
yeah, it was and it's been funny to watch stuff like, what was the one, Johnny and the somethings? It was a
Chocolate
movie.
Factory.
No, it was a big 70s, 80s. It was one of those things that was on constant rotation on HBO back in the day.
Oh,
And Eddie and the Cruisers.
Oh, hey,
And it's like, and my wife's generation has, she's younger than me. Like she has the movie that like was on every time she turned on cable, and it's been fascinating to watch some of this stuff and how it pops up or stuff you've never heard of, or stuff that was just like, Drek is suddenly like 40% of some channel because it's free stuff they own the rights to, and I'm gonna keep paying for that because they're the only way I can watch this stupid TV show I want to watch that just came out.
And yet you cannot stream the entire run of 10 Speed and Brown Shoes, even still to this day.
you can't even get BJ and the Bear. I mean, come on.
I don't know if I feel a loss of that.
That was for 20 years now, that has been my litmus test of like, we will have reached ultimate on-demand television when you can stream the entire run of 10 Speed and Brown Shoe.
So I know we got to move, but where can I get Automan? Because I want to watch Automan on this 8K TV so I can see all of the wires and stuff that shouldn't have been.
I have it, but they're all VHS copies, and there was a very deep gray market in unused and little watched TV shows from the 80s that float around online.
Well, one way you can get answer to these questions is to ask a chatbot, and then they'll tell you an answer that might even be true. If you want tips on how to get good answers out of chatbots, check out Tom's Top 5 this week. Tips for great AI chatbot results. You can catch it at Daily Tech News Show on TikTok and Instagram, and at youtube.com/Daily Tech News Show.
We all know that Nvidia powers data centers, AI data centers specifically these days, but it's still a GPU maker, and plenty of folks still need a GPU to play games, power their video editing, and other creative tools. But although Nvidia has delivered solid products at each of those price points, seems the mid-range 5060 is not much of a value in Patrick Norton's eyes. Tell us more.
Oh my goodness. I think probably the worst card I've read about recently is the Nvidia 5050. Some of the titles from reviewers on that card basically all boil down to, please don't buy this card. It will emotionally hurt me if you do, especially if you've read this article and then still bought one. And
what exactly was the big gripe?
Well, okay, so we had this time when we couldn't buy any GPUs, which wasn't about crypto, but when crypto stopped using GPUs, suddenly there were a whole lot of GPUs, and then GPU sales were still weird. Now I need a GPU for one of my kids. Right? They've outgrown their GPU. It is time. I was in the Micro Center near me. I was a little shocked about how many cards were available, and then I was doing price researching, and I was like, wow. There's a lot of cards under MSRP, or at least under their original sales price. And I want to bring a couple things up here. Nvidia and the 560 weirdness, and why it's probably not a great card for anybody with a 3060 or a 4060. And I bring that up because my son's 1070 has been holding up alarmingly well for what feels like approximately forever at this point, right? And you mentioned NVIDIA powering AI. Side effect of the AI explosion, so far in 2025, consumer GPUs accounted for 8.7% of NVIDIA's revenue. Now, consumer GPUs were 51% in 2020. AI GPUs for data centers are now over 88% of NVIDIA's business. Like, AI is now 10 times the revenue of gaming inside of NVIDIA. Gaming GPUs, I assure you, are no longer NVIDIA's prime focus. Tom found a really good stat. NVIDIA's gaming, it's a quote, I should say, from CNBC. NVIDIA's gaming division reported $4.3 billion in sales, up 49% from the year ago period. The division used to be NVIDIA's largest before the AI boom supercharged data center sales. NVIDIA said during the quarter that its GPUs intended for gaming would be tuned to run certain open AI models on personal computers. So NVIDIA is making money hand over fist. At the same time, NVIDIA's GPUs are becoming less about raw hardware performance and much more about basically doing things with AI, primarily DLSS, which in NVIDIA's words uses AI to boost frames per second, reduce latency, and improve image quality, or more dramatically, an NVIDIA AI supercomputer in the cloud constantly improves your gaming PC's gaming capabilities. At least as long as the game has the latest and greatest DLS coded into it and the carefully selected benchmarking. I mean, when you looked at the 5060 launch, right, they did a lot of stuff where they did Apple levels of controlling how this product is reviewed. Apple has a very simple solution, right? We have a very small group of reviewers that somehow seem to always say nice things about our products, and we continue to give them products, and once in a while they add a new one. In this case, they offered a small group of reviewers cards, and if they agreed to some very carefully selected benchmarking, they gave you drivers so you could write your review before the card went on sale. Not necessarily post it, but you could write it, right? And then this showed what DLSS could do in the best possible light. If you've got prayable rates, DLSS multi-frame generation can add up to like 3 frames for rendered frames. So your frame rate goes through the ceiling, which, in the 1080p gaming community is usually a big deal. If your game supports it, it'll be faster. You'll love it if you don't have issues with the quality, which sometime online will suggest is either 100% a nightmare and these are fake frames, or 100% unnoticeable and this is free performance. So, a lot of the drama around this started earlier in the year when NVIDIA was like, the 57 can beat the 4090, right? 57 being a much less expensive card. That is only, however, in, with DLSS4 and AI rendering and again, some folks are calling that fake frames. Or as I look at my teenagers aging 1080, it's like, okay, I need to look at the games he plays the most to see if DLSS 4 is built into those games, because if it isn't, the performance is probably not there, and I need to get a better card. So, and that's why NVIDIA set up this very tight release situation for the 5060, and they timed it also, by the way, so that the majority of the serious hardware reviewers would be in Taiwan for Computex. You were only allowed to benchmark it against demonstrably slower cards, the 3060s and the 2080s. And, literally, if you didn't agree to this very peculiar set of benchmarking rules, you didn't get drivers before the card went on for sale. And, I feel that this was all about, basically getting folks straight to bigger number than I could afford last week syndrome, so they would immediately buy a GPU. And the delta between those 3 cards is kind of huge with those games at those settings at 1080p. And from what Sean Hollister notes over at The Verge, and the company's Q2 2026 earnings, NVIDIA specifically says the RTX 5060 quickly become NVIDIA's fastest ramping X60 class GPU ever. I have concerns with the 5060. Now, 8 GB of RAM in theory should cut it, but what a lot of people using it are finding out is that it doesn't seem to work particularly well with a lot of modern games. It's interesting, and that's running 1080, 1080p on a 1080p monitor, and more importantly, the DLSS offers little or no help on a lot of games. So I'm not going to get into all the crazy things going on in the worlds of GPUs and the people that review them right now. There is a ton of drama, especially in the YouTube community. But I will say I'm actually taking a serious look at the Intel B850, which if you're a 1080p or 1440 gamer is looking like a very, very solid alternative, especially at $270, which is a bit less. And a lot of folks are also suggesting you push towards, especially if you have, maybe you're going to need it if you're going more than 1440p, 16 gigabyte AMD Radeon RX 9060 XT for about 380, or at least the 5070 if you're staying on Nvidia. All of that said, if you're squatting on a CPU that you had since the bad GPU times during crypto, and you're really thinking a lot about 720p gaming these days because your GPU is so old and tired, that 5060 is probably going to be a massive leap in performance for you and a lot more affordable than, say, a $550 RTX 5070. Yeah.
So what did you end up buying your son?
Nothing at this point because
Play Xbox and PlayStation.
Mobile gaming is fine, so there's no shame in it.
Thought, Rob. Well, I will say my youngest spends a lot of time in Minecraft, so GPUs aren't a challenge, and an astronomical amount of time with a little handheld Atari 2600 emulator, which brings me more joy than I can really express. My elder teen is doing some games where I can tell where the performance would be greatly enhanced. I just went into this I need a GPU. There's actually GPUs on sale. Why are all these GPUs so cheap and selling for under MSRP?
Yeah.
And then I could probably, if I'd taken notes during all 300 odd tabs I went through, I'd probably put everybody to sleep. But this is it is the entire GPU universe right now. And because Nvidia still controls 90% of GPU sales.
What's interesting is that you mentioned Intel a couple times.
Yeah.
And I don't think Intel wants this, but Intel is kind of becoming known for their GPU. They actually do a pretty decent job at it. And back in the day, it was all Nvidia, or AMD to a lesser extent, but it was all Nvidia. And now it's if you had an Intel GPU, it's because, well, that's just what your laptop came with. Right. But now Nvidia has done the swap. They are the data center play. They are building, the GPUs for them clearly is a side business to the billions and billions that they make selling to data centers that are running AI. Right. And Intel wishes they could be in that business, but it seems like, hey, you know what? This Intel GPU isn't actually that bad, and it's kind of cheap compared to some of this stuff.
Yeah,
there's been a sort of a segmentation that these companies have fallen into. If you're really on a tight budget, but you need a GPU that can game, Intel actually has products that fill that bill. What Nvidia appears to have done is sort of forget and sort of do away with the mid to lower end range.
GPU.
Yeah, well, it's because all the higher end GPUs have dual purposes for running LLMs locally on a PC, and so there is a built-in market outside of gaming for those cards that they know people will pay top dollar for, because it's still cheaper to do that than to rent X amount of time on a server you don't control. And so you have this weird cross purposes for people who want to buy it because they want to play games versus Nvidia, we're the AI company. And hey, if you want to run an AI locally on your workstation, you can get one of our 5080, 5090s with 24 plus, because you need a big chunk of VRAM in order to cram one of those LLMs locally and execute.
Well, I think it was WScotty1, if I read that correctly. It was very small at the bottom of my screen, but he points out Intel and AMD are great if you're, there it is, Scottus. Sorry, Scottus one. They're great GPUs if all you're doing is gaming. If you're doing content creation, NVIDIA is really your only realistic option still. I agree 100%. In most cases, but it's a weird time in GPUs, especially at the low end GPUs. Like if everything supported DLSS, or DLSS4, I think, I would feel that the 560 was a much more interesting and compelling product, especially if it had more than 8 gigabytes of RAM. But man, when you look at non-DLS numbers, you start looking at it and like, really?
Well, it's not even the numbers. I mean, there have been a number of benchmark reviewers who've noticed extraneous frames and limbs show up with the DLSS, right? Where it tried to interpolate the frame and suddenly your character sprouts a third leg. And so, some people don't care because all you want to do is kill the monster. But other people are like, I spent $10,000 putting this together. I want to have. Although if you spend $10,000, I'm sure you're going to be coughing up the money for a 5080 or 5090. But it's AI. Nvidia is really leveraging the AI aspect to get the boost in performance, and a lot of other, especially console companies or game console companies, are doing the same thing because at some point you just can't keep dumping money into a console and then expect people to pay $1,000 for it.
Well, what you can expect is for us to have a fun quiz Friday. That's what we're doing. So
We are?
Get ready to have some fun whether you like it or not. It is
Like
Friday.
it.
You know what we love to do on Fridays? Pop culture quizzes. Roger, what do you have for us today?
Well, since fast food is such an important part of the American lifestyle and my lifestyle within the past 5 days, I thought it'd be kind of fun to combine those.
We had the Taco Bell story from yesterday
yes,
too.
Taco
it's
Bell
in the news.
Remember, in the future, every restaurant is Taco Bell. I thought it'd be fun
God.
to
That's not
include,
good.
include
I
fast
gastro.
food. It's a reference to Demolition Man.
Demolition Man quote.
Okay, all
fast
right, everybody.
fast food
Movie
chains
people.
have often been at the forefront of technology on the cutting edge of technology, because when it comes to delivering food conveniently, quickly, and most importantly cheaply, technology is a game changer. So this quiz will test your knowledge
Laminar
of
Rainbow, give us a super sticker in honor of the quiz.
Laminar
this
likes
quiz
a
will-
good quiz. Woo woo.
This quiz will test your knowledge of which companies are leveraging which technologies to gain an edge in the fast food market.
What's
All right.
the quiz about?
Fast food technology.
Fast food and technology. Two
Got
words
it.
combined.
All right.
Done.
Sweet.
Like the scales raised.
Pick the restaurant, I think.
Question. Pick the restaurant or pick the thing. Question 1. Which Asian cuisine chain invented an auto wok technology to take over the tedious task of stirring and tossing?
I know this one.
Oh,
I
go
actually
ahead.
don't, but I'm going to go ahead and guess.
Go
Panda
ahead and say it,
Express.
Sarah.
Panda Express.
Yes, it is.
Panda Express.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They developed a auto wok.
How did you get the express? You
Walk,
needed the auto walk.
W-O-K. It's not
Not a
walking.
walk.
Yes, good point.
This
It's a wok.
technology frees up the chef or cook at the Panda Express from having to sit there waiting for the
Stirring
thing to,
and
yeah.
stuff.
Huh.
This is kind of how I feel about my new rice cooker. I'm like,
Yeah.
I was sort of hovering a little bit
Now
more than I
she's
am now.
Life-changing.
Sarah Express.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I'm
It
just
free-
like, oh, it just like does a song when it's done.
Oh,
I mean, I guess it's not helicopter parenting, helicopter cooking. It's freed you from that. chain.
helicopter.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm still kind of doing it. But yes, much less.
Question 2. Which popular fast food chain developed its dating sim game as a marketing ploy, making it freely available on Steam?
Please let it be Taco Bell.
On or off Steam?
I don't
On
know
Steam.
what this one is.
On Steam.
On Steam. I'm sorry, I missed
It was
it.
freely available.
Yes,
off
it was
of
a mar- but it was
Steam,
a-
but
it was
also
a-
part
it
of
was a-
Steam.
This is the one I have to recuse myself from because this was in our top 5.
Oh,
So, if anyone actually
you know
watched
the
it, you would have
know
the answer.
answer.
So
No, but I get why Roger was like, "Don't you know the answer?" It's like because Roger gave it to me
yes.
in a script.
Which
that I
fast
read.
food chain created a dating sim game?
I mean,
That's all you have to answer.
If I had to guess, I
Guess.
would. Burger King.
Wingstop.
Wingstop. Who would you be romancing at the Wingstop?
Yeah, no clue.
The wings.
Be romancing anywhere.
Oh, it could be like Lady and the Tramp, and you're like nibbling on the wings together.
Didn't Travis Kelsey's brother do the commercials for the Wingstop?
Did he?
Yeah, you
Or was
might
that
have.
Buffalo
was his
Wild
brother?
Wings? Might have
Huh.
been Buffalo
One of
Wild
them?
Wings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jason.
Rob, do you have an answer?
Let's go with Shake Shack.
Shake Shack, huh?
Or is that fast food or is that fast
Yeah.
casual?
That's fast food.
Fast food.
Yeah,
That's casual.
That's fine. Fast casual is included because there's fast in it.
What is it, Roger? No one knows.
Oh, I thought Patrick
Except
wanted to
Tom.
give his answer.
Oh, Taco Bell.
Oh, Taco Bell.
I want
All
it
right.
to be Taco Bell.
Okay, so Tom, you can lay on the information.
It's the Colonel, KFC. You want to
KFC.
romance Colonel Sanders?
Wow.
I love you,
weird.
Colonel
Really?
Sanders. A
Obviously.
finger licking good.
Listen,
dude.
I've
played
got
it.
no personal issue with
Wow.
Mr. Sanders, but no, that would not.
They
be
make
a
him
dating
quite.
game I would wanna-
They make him quite the dashing figure in the game. You're supposed
Colonel
to
to you.
impress him in your 3-day culinary academy.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, so it's not like you're not really dating. You just want him to think you're a good cook.
No, you have a crush on him, but you want to
No,
be.
I'm
Is this
out.
like
I'm out.
anime hookup show?
Was this in the
Hot
US?
I
wings
want to have
for
a crush
teacher.
on Colonel Sanders.
Was this in the US?
I've heard of the coffee
Is
date,
it-
but the hot wings at KFC date, no, I don't know about that.
I mean, just bring the biscuits. We're there. All right. Question
No.
3. Which
Not the
national U.S. pizza chain had the first tracker developed letting customers follow the progress of their pizza order from the time they ordered it till the time they received it?
I know.
I
this.
don't know this, but I'm going to go with Domino's.
That's
That's it.
Domino's.
That's the correct answer.
It just feels like something Domino's.
Domination.
Domino's is always a little ahead of the curve.
I use it
Domino's
all the
Pizza
time.
Tracker.
I use it all
Domino's was the
time.
first place I ordered a pizza online.
Yeah. It's great technology.
It is. Too bad the pizza. I'm not
now,
going to say it. I'm
some
not
people
going to
like
say it.
Domino's very much.
Listen, I order Domino's because it fits within the two things that matter to me most: expediency and cost.
Oh, I think Domino's pizza is horrible, but I know some people love it, so that's fine.
Now, here's my question for everybody. Domino's or Pizza Hut?
Pizza
Because
Hut. I fought in the
because-
pizza wars on the side
Okay,
of Pizza
okay,
Hut.
good.
I-
I knew I was going to strike
So this is the thing.
chord here.
No.
Because to
Are
me,
you
I'm like,
talking-
oh, it's the same, and people are like, oh, no.
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 No, they're
I
very
will-
different.
I would sooner
not
go
the
with a
same,
local
but-
place. than-
Yes.
Oh, most definitely. But
The
compared
problem
to
with
Domino's, Pizza Hut is miles ahead, in my opinion.
I don't find the Domino's pizza all that tasty, but there's something about the Pizza Hut dough I find like just too much.
Oh, it's thicker.
Which
but-
one?
So you're more of a Domino's.
Hand
Yeah, I like
tossed,
pizza.
thin crust.
May as well just go to Little Caesars.
I want a good pizza.
$1,
Do you guys have
gastronomic
Jets
your
pizza near
experience.
you?
Jets like
Yeah,
the
we do.
No.
We
like
got
the
it.
I don't
football
think I
team.
have Jets.
Deep dish. Oh, best.
Is
We
it
have
deep dish
Geno's
or is it
East.
just or is it a pan pizza? Because pan
Well,
and dish are often
square, so
Yeah.
every one
That's
is a
Detroit
corner.
style.
yeah. Isn't that Detroit style?
But
Does
but
Cleveland
there's
have
square
no-
pizza
no
and then
pizza
there's
style
deep
of its
dish
own?
square pizza?
Doesn't.
And
Oh, yeah.
because a lot of people are not into deep dish. I am. So
It's a
you
meal
you
in a
can't sit with
slice.
us, but
Like you can eat it. It's like a 3-course meal in one slice.
it's a huge cake, but it's pizza. It's so
Yes.
good. I don't know why anybody wouldn't.
And
want
if
that.
you get the one with the cornmeal crush, you can pretty much blow out your calorie and your gluten.
Blow out all
count for
kinds
the
of
day.
things. Eating
Yeah,
that.
there you go. Yeah, for sure.
What's the one? I can't think of this right now.
DiGiorno's.
No, not DiGiorno's. It
Red
was
Baron.
it was the pizza place where the whole thing was we only half cook it and then you cook the rest of it in your
Pizza.
house.
Oh, not Pizza.
right.
Papa Murphy's or
Papa Murphy's.
Papa
Yes.
Murphy's.
And
I
was
always found
like,
that to
I
be-
don't want to do that.
No, I never understood why that was so popular. Why am I taking it home to cook it? Like, is it the
Well,
whole point of me
because
going
Because
out?
then
In
it's fresh.
hindsight,
You're getting
well-
it immediately.
Yeah,
It doesn't get
but
cold on the
who
car
wants to
ride home.
do that. You want to eat the pizza
So as a
immediately.
kid, you were like, no, we're not doing that. But as I've become more familiar with, the ways of a kitchen, I'm like, yeah, it probably is way better this way. But it
Yeah,
still
they-
feels like it's just
they
not
do
like
all the
that,
hard
like
work for you.
that impulsive pizza right now feeling.
Yeah, but you can't eat it right. You still have to heat it up. Or
Well, that's
cook it
why
Thursday.
it's not great impulsive buying.
Well, it depends.
That's
on,
why we
like,
couldn't
what your
remember the name of it.
tolerance for pizza is.
Papa Murphy's.
Wow.
You know,
But that's
Papa
different from Papa
Murphy's.
John's, which unfortunately has the same Papa starting, and so you mix the two up. Or I do, so I never order from either. All right, question 4. Which national fast food hamburger chain was the first to partner with Miso Robotics to deploy Flippy 2, a robotic arm that automates certain cooking tasks?
Didn't you
McDonald's.
go to a place that
I-
had this?
I went to one that had the predecessor to the Flippy 2.
Okay.
Is it McDonald's?
Yeah, it's McDonald's.
No, they were not loving it.
Oh.
Is it Burger
was it?
King?
Hardee's?
No, something less
AKA
regal.
Carl's Jr.
Less regal.
Something less regal.
Carl was not
Rallies.
part of this.
Was it Wendy's?
No, I don't. I don't believe it's
No,
Red Hat.
rallies. How about rallies?
No.
We're showing an
Rally.
amazing
Sonic.
depth of burger knowledge.
All right, there's
Five
only
Guys.
four more. Four more
Steak and
chains.
Shake.
Five Guys.
Steak and Shake.
Not
No,
national.
not Five Guys. There's. There was here. I'll give you a hint. A
What's
movie
the one where
was-
everybody hates the fries?
Hamburger Habit.
It's the one. It's the. They made a movie of it with two Asian guys in it.
In and out.
White Castle.
Yes, Tom. Oh, Patrick got
White
it.
Castle. Oh,
White Castle.
Not
I like
like-
White Castle.
I
do.
can't. And I'm hearing Columbus words. I can't stand White Castle. Cannot stand
White Castle.
boiled hamburger meat. No,
But you have to
boiled
say, if you
beef.
grew up with like White Castle was the 24. Like it was like White Castle.
Rob
or-
did grow up that way. I think that's the problem.
Well, but like that was like my dad's like I'm drunk and want to get cheap food was White.
Yeah.
If there wasn't a diner, there
No,
was
people
no
who like
dirty
it love
roasted
it.
Diner.
It's good
Yeah,
value. Good.
It's
value.
like In and Out. People who love it love it, but there's some
Yeah.
people like, I don't get it.
yeah.
Yeah. White
I mean,
Castle.
I don't get
Yeah.
In and
For-
Out.
what
It's
is it,
fine.
69 cents.
In and Out is a long time to wait for dinner when it's cheaper to just go.
It's like I'm like it's
In and
fine.
out.
Go to
It's
Disney.
fine.
I prefer Papa
In-N-Out.
Burger, who just gives you the raw hamburger meat and you cook it.
Oh,
yourself.
is that what you call it? Because I just go to Costco and get that 12 pack of hamburger
You put
patties
it
and just
underneath
take it
your
home.
horse, like your
I go down to
saddle.
Hanano and
You just
Venice
put it under
Beach
your
and-
hood. It cooks on the way home.
And I eat a crappy burger there. It's fun.
All right. Question 5. Which popular Mexican food chain or Mexican food chain
Oh, Taco
introduced
Bell.
the
No.
introduced the guac dance challenge as part of its marketing campaign in 2019?
Chipotle.
I mean, it's
Len,
either
you
Chipotle,
eat way too
Baja
much fast
Fresh,
food.
or Taco Bell.
I don't know if I'm worried about your health, Len.
Yeah, you should be. Yeah. A1C is very high.
So it's Chipotle.
Chipotle got one of those Shorty Awards, which is an award given out for short form content.
Now, Chipotle gets a bad rap.
Chipotle.
Yeah,
I
when
always
you
get the
did
burrito bowl. You don't have to deal with the wrap at all.
When you did the quotation marks, I immediately thought it must be Taco Bell because I consider Chipotle to be almost Mexican food.
Chipotle's pretty good.
I would call Chipotle and Baja Fresh both
Mexican adjacent.
Mexican adjacent.
fast forward.
will say-
What's the term that we're using for
Fast core, you fast casual.
Fast casual.
Fast casual.
I
Yeah.
used to
Well,
love-
I guess Chipotle is really.
Chipotle
you don't really
gets
sit
actually
there
Chipotle
much.
serves my food faster than Taco Bell does.
I
That
have never
actually-
had a problem with Chipotle. Some people are just not into it.
I just think it's
I
really
like it.
Where
pricey,
you
but
are.
they do refrescas, and honestly, it's kind of worth the price.
Their
Yeah.
guac is the best guac.
Outstanding.
It's
Yeah.
great.
It is very good.
It's
But it's
because
also-
they salt it. That's
But
what's
it's like-
going on. Just so you know. That's why it's good. It's
Whatever.
very
It
salty.
works.
Yeah?
I know.
Good.
I'm not saying that's a
Good.
bad thing. I'm just saying
Yeah.
Some
that's what
people
you
love
like.
flavor, and
You
for
like
flavor, you need a little seasoning.
You're like
All
you,
right,
mommy.
Salt is an electrolyte, after all.
it's what customers crave. Question 6: What fast casual chain implemented a voice AI ordering system called Tori in its drive-through lanes?
That would be Taco Bell.
No,
Wendy's.
no, fast casual.
Carl's Jr.
Oh.
Oh, fast casual.
No,
Fast
no.
casual.
Imagine the lounge section of your Motel 6, or like
Sonic
The
would
lounge
be a good
section
or
of
guess.
like
Motel
think of a
6.
think of a I don't know. What's the best way
is
to
it
describe
Sonic?
What's the fast casual restaurant in my Motel 6?
Let's just say a yeasty product is part of the name title, the company's name.
Something bread. Something bread.
Something.
Oh,
Boy.
The
Panera.
St. Louis
Yes.
Bread Company,
Panera Bread.
Panera
That's
Bread.
right.
Panera
which is the
Bread.
St. Louis Bread Company. It's the same.
They have drive-throughs.
Is it really?
I've never
They,
seen a drive-through.
they implemented this system called Torre that was is from a Boston-based company called Open City, and it's what makes it unique from other voice AI.
Because it had a Boston accent.
Well, it has a Boston attitude. No, it supposedly talks to you in a
Sounds
very
like a wicked good
conversational
order
way.
to me.
And
Say hello
the
to your
employees can
motherfucker.
listen in to see if they screws up your order or whatever, and they'll jump right in. But yeah, Panera Bread.
I will say Panera Bread also gets dragged quite a bit. I've
too
always
expensive.
liked it.
It
It's
just
way
reminds me.
cool.
It just reminds me the shallow end of the buffet line.
Well,
Like,
it's it is what it is. But you can get a good sandy or a salad there.
For like
Yeah.
24
There
bucks.
has very
Sure.
good food. but
24
it-
bucks. Well, I haven't been there in a while. Maybe
it's
things
like
have changed.
it's like going out of your way to eat at a motel.
Oh, see,
to me.
yeah. No, I always thought of it as like a cheap way to get like clam chowder and a sourdough roll.
Panera and cheap aren't two things that I've ever put
Yeah,
together.
it's
in my
not
life.
cheap.
Really?
very
Oh,
It
okay.
depends on where you're-
Well,
in
again,
Sarah's
it's been a
defense,
while.
It depends on where you're located, because if you're in the right neighborhood, Panera is a much more affordable option. But they've also, as they've been sort of shuffled through being owned by private equity, they've stripped away everything that was like functional about Panera.
Oh, now it's
The
like
bread,
cool.
It's all.
It's like
It's
the
not even
cool
that.
bread
It's
place.
it's like they don't break the bread. They don't make.
They
the
don't
bread
break
locally
bread.
and a bunch of other stuff.
It's true. It's a thing
like
that we've
bread-
lost in this automated age. Question 7. Which fast food chain partnered up with Pipedream, a hyperlogistics company, to develop a method to deliver food directly to customers in the parking lot through an underground system of tunnels?
Underground system of tunnels.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh,
I was going to say Swenson's, which
What
is
crimson-haired company worked with
Wendy's.
worked with
McDonald's?
Wendy's.
Oh, Wendy's.
Wendy's.
It's basically, think of it sort of as a conveyor system and pneumatic tubes underneath that would
Weird.
deliver your food.
That's
Oh,
another
it didn't
pneumatic
didn't
tube.
last.
Yeah.
I take it.
Yeah.
Too bad
But,
that's
I mean,
It's really
you got to make sure that you don't spill
Everything
anything,
is
because I don't want to be the new employee that has to go through there and scrub
I mean,
everything.
listen, employees used to be on roller skates.
It's like going
if
to
they
the
can do
bank.
that, we can
Yes,
do pneumatic
I was
tubes
just thinking that, Len.
underground.
like going
I
to
had
the
that in
bank.
high school. We had, I guess they were still car hops back then.
Rob, do you have Swenson's near you?
We do.
So good.
Swenson's
Yeah.
Ranch.
Yeah, there's one around. It's literally, I could walk there in probably 10 minutes.
So good. So good.
All right. Question 8, the last question. Chipotle Grill Simulator debuted in what online game platform and game creation system to introduce their new item?
Minecraft.
Oculus Rift.
I just would not know this.
Roblox.
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 They developed. So you actually have to go into their burrito builder game, but there was a grilling simulator, and they used it to showcase and introduce their garlic guajillo steak burrito.
Roger, I learned a lot today.
Me too.
I'm also hungry,
Me too.
but that's just what happens at the end of the show
I'm
because we
always
always figure out how to stuff in food to our conversations. But yes, I think we all learned a little something about ourselves and each other. Good
Indeed.
quiz.
Another good quiz.
Good quiz.
Good quiz.
Yeah,
Well done.
4 weeks of good quizzes, Roger. So
Yeah, you're on a roll.
You're on a roll.
On a roll. Go to Panera.
delicious
Panera. I don't
Panera
think they have
roll.
rolls.
Yeah.
Speaking of a St. Louis bread company roll, I got nothing for that. Let's just thank Len. Len, thank you for being here. What did you draw for us today?
So I was listening to your conversation about live TV, Hulu live TV, and everything else. And my drawing is sort of an interpretation of how I feel sometimes watching live TV on Hulu. It's like, I just want to watch Judge Judy at 4:30 on Channel 8. What am I paying for?
That is all of us.
That is exactly how I feel a lot of times.
That's
It's
how
like,
we were and how we are now. as well.
Yeah.
Exactly. What am I paying for? Anyway, that image is available if you are a fan of me. You can go to Patreon, patreon.com/Len, where you get that immediately if you back me. Or you can go to my online store, the old-fashioned way, lenperaltastore.com, and you can just purchase it right there. And you can even get it digitally right away. So there you go.
Lovely.
Good stuff, as always, Len Peralta. Also, Patrick Norton, great stuff bringing to the show today. Let folks know where they can keep up with your work when you're not with us.
Oh my goodness. Well, I am starting to re-engage with social media in a larger way. So if you want to ask me an irritating, fun, or joyous question, I'm still Patrick Norton on the X. And of course, you can find me on Blue Sky at bsky.app/profile/patricknorton.bsky.social, because I like saying that all at once.
Nice.
Well, folks, you've been submitting show titles over at dtns.showbot.tv. So let's go check in and see what some of the top vote getters are. And let's see, right here at the top, G. James B, WDTNS, Weekly Daily Tech News Show.
Yeah. There's the Daily Tech News Show, and then there's the Weekly Daily Tech News Show, and then there's the Monthly Daily Tech News Show, which is the bonus that goes to the patrons.
I mean,
And then there's the Yearly Daily
What's
Tech
not to
News Show,
like?
which is our prediction show.
Steph Dave chimes in with hot wings for teacher.
Now that's funny.
That's
Hot wings
good.
for teacher.
There are a lot of people who are going to be like, don't get it. And it's not for you.
Kids, ask your ZZ Top loving parents.
No, Van Halen.
Oh, it was Van Halen.
Oh, that was Van Halen. You're right. Oh, I'm crazy.
So ATW has a good one here. It's Fox One with the number 1 or Fox One WON.
Oh,
very
that's
good. That's
clever.
good. Got to think about that
Yeah.
one a little
Yeah,
bit.
gotta think about it.
That's a thinker. Yeah.
Let's see what else we got here. Fred819 can't find the streams without a scorecard. And that's my life.
I like JPEG 84s. The cord wasn't cut. It just changed. It's the internet now. It's a different cord. Even
Tom
if you're
says Go
wireless.
Chiefs has Lynn just dreams of chicken wings dating.
What? Oh my gosh.
Sarah, what did we decide to go with today?
Well, it was a tough one, Rob. It was a tough one, but we are going with Stealth Dave's Hot Wings for Teacher.
Hot wings for
That's a
teacher.
great one.
And
He's
for
got it
anybody
made.
who wants to be reminded of when Hot for Teacher came out by Van Halen, it was 1984.
I was confused with chicken legs, which is ZZ Top.
She's got chicken legs. She knows how to base them.
I had to think about it. I was like, did they do that? No, different song.
All right.
yeah.
Big thanks to Laminar Rainbow again for the super sticker earlier. Thanks to the folks watching us on YouTube, folks watching us on LinkedIn. We got folks watching us on Twitch. C-Spawn giving us 100 bits. Prince of Brow back for the 54th month. Said, have a good weekend. Chaz Basden for the 58th month. Zoe brings bacon with some bits. Stealth Dave back for the 25th month. We had a little hype train going on. Thanks for that as well. GPEG84 with the 58th month at Tier 1. They've been subscribed for 67 months.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Tom says go Chiefs with 27 months. Net Guy Green at 74 months. Wow, 74 months.
That's
Thank you, Net
crazy.
Guy Green. That is amazing. Yes, this is the last show of this week, and we will be back on Thursday as the live show transitions to weekly. It's not the end of the show. It's not the end of the quizzes. We will be back next week. It'll be a longer show. And we've got new stuff coming for you. I'll be back on Mondays with the editor's desk, Tuesdays with an office hours. If you watch live, there'll be something on. Live With It premieres with the rice cooker review that you've been waiting for on Wednesday.
Nice.
Of course, DTNS live on Thursday. And next Friday, I'm just going to hang out. Bunch of folks are going to show up on the stream, and we're just going to chat and see where it goes. So be sure to tune in for that as well.
You can watch us live 4 p.m. Eastern, 2000 UTC, and find out more at dailytechnewsshow.com/live. We will see you next Thursday, September 4th. Have a great holiday for those who celebrate in the U.S. Talk to you soon.
This week's episodes of Daily Tech News Show Live were created by the following people. Producer and host Sarah Lane, host Tom Merritt, host Robb Dunewood, producer Roger Chang, video producer Joe Kuntz, producer at large Anthony Lemos, social media producer and moderator Zoe Detterding. Our mods, Beatmaster, W. Scottis1, BioCow, Captain Kipper, Steve Guadarrama, Paul Reese, Matthew J. Stevens, aka Gadget Virtuoso, and J.D. Galloway. Mod and video hosting by Dan Christensen. Music provided by Martin Bell and Dan Luters. Art by Len Peralta. Acast ad support from Tatiana Matias. Patreon support from Bobby Wagner. Contributors for this week's shows included Justin Robert Young, Scott Johnson, and Patrick Norton. And thanks to all our patrons who make the show possible.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Get more at frogpants.com.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.